Hello! Today we are going to have a scavenger hunt and we're going to make a paper sculpture using primary colors. You're going to need some scissors, a pencil, and 3 crayons that are red, blue, and yellow. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. These 3 colors can mix together to make other colors, and it's really important that we learn about them. These are the basics of art. So here we have our 3 crayons that we're going to use today. What I'd like you to do is look around your house, and I want you to find things that are red, yellow, and blue to go on top of your pieces of paper. Make sure you pause this video so you can go around the house and search for some things that are either red, yellow, or blue. As you can see, I've found quite an assortment of things just around the art room. I have all kinds of things from pipe cleaners to fish, headphones, even a mini stapler. So how did you do? Did you find some things? I found at least 5 things each for each of my primary colors. If you've done that, great job. Let's go ahead and put our things away now, back where they go. That's silly duck. We're going to move on now to our paper sculpture art project. To begin this lesson, we always want to write our name. It's always good practice to write your name in the bottom corner of any piece of art that you make. Using a 6" by 9" piece of paper, I'm going to use that as the foundation. We still have our red, blue, and yellow paper. And what we'll do is we're going to begin by cutting it apart. When using our scissors, we have to practice good cutting safety measures. So when you're cutting, there are certain things you need to keep in mind. We're going to start by cutting our paper into strips. You don't have to cut the whole piece of paper if you don't want to, but if you want to have some extra practice, you might as well go for it. It's generally a good idea if you measure a finger space inside. That way, when you're cutting your paper, you know that it's not going to be too skinny. I use my fingers as a reference whenever I'm cutting out strips of paper for this type of project. All you have to do is use your finger at the bottom of the piece of paper and see how far in you need to cut. When cutting, you want to make sure that your thumb is on top, and your thumb should be placed in the smallest hole of the scissors. Your thumb is in charge. It's the boss. It should be on top as you're cutting. So you also want to make sure that you don't turn your scissors the wrong way. We want to face the scissors away from our body so that we don't accidentally hurt ourselves. So turn your scissors away from you with your thumb on top so that we can practice great cutting skills. Now that we have cut our paper into strips, it is now time to start gluing. These strips are ready to make a beautiful sculpture. Now I want you to remember that if at any time you need to, pause the video so that you can catch up with Mr. Prim. It's really important that I don't get ahead of you, so you can always pause the video. The first kind of line today I'm going to glue down is a straight line. I'm just going to make one strip of paper glued down on the white paper. So here's our glue. I want to make sure it's working really well. And we're going to do something called dot, dot, not aligned. Dot, dot, not a lot. See, it's that easy. When you do that, you don't run the risk of glue going everywhere. Press it down firmly and you're ready for your second strip of paper. Whenever you think about it, remember, dot dot not a lot. That'll save you some glue and a big mess. Now this second piece of paper, I'm going to make this one special. Now, I like to pretend like I'm building a roller coaster. I love roller coasters, so this is like right up my alley. So I'm going to make this piece really curvy, like a big hill on a roller coaster. What you want to do is put a little dot of glue on each end, and we want to hold it down for about 5 seconds at least. Don't let go, because your strips of paper could fall apart. They could fall off the white paper. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now I have to decide what to do with this yellow strip of paper. You can get creative at any time. I ended up folding this piece of paper in half. So basically, I'll end up hopefully with 2 hills instead of just 1. So what you'll have to do, if you want to do this too, is put a dot on each end of the strip plus a dot of glue in the middle. If you hold it down for long enough, you'll have 2 hills. It takes a little bit of practice, but I'm sure you can do it if you try. If you don't succeed at first, try again. Hold it down for long enough to make it stick. There, I think that should do it. It is looking pretty cool now. Okay, now it's time for the red strip of paper. This is going to be a special type of line. It's one of my favorite types of things to fold out of paper. It's a zigzag line. You're going to fold the tip over, and then you're going to fold it backwards to make a zigzag. It kind of looks like a letter W when you're done. See? So what we'll do is we'll fold it back and forth until you get to the end of your strip of paper. It's a little tricky at first, but if you practice, I'm sure you'll be able to do it. So when you're done with your zigzag line, you're going to put a dot of glue on one side and a dot of glue on the other. When you glue it down, you can actually make it into a curve on your piece of paper. This is going to make our sculpture look absolutely fantastic. There, I decided to put my zigzag line under the blue strip of paper so it looks like there's 2 different layers. This is looking really cool. I'm liking what I'm making. I hope you are too. For my next strip of paper, I am going to tear. Tearing is another fun thing to do that doesn't even take scissors. You could practice tearing by putting your thumbs together, your fingers on the other side of the paper, and ripping in different directions. Practice tearing. It's a lot of fun. Once you're done tearing the paper, put a little tiny dot of glue on each piece. You can make your lines go anywhere on this piece of paper. In fact, you could even tear red pieces, blue pieces, and yellow pieces to make a multicolored dashed line. There it is. I think this is looking amazing. You could keep building on this whole thing, but I have a special treat. This is my very, very favorite type of line. I am going to make a spiral line. Now, remember earlier I talked about how this could look like a roller coaster? Well, I love upside down roller coasters. So I'm going to make this strip of paper twist upside down. I can only imagine what this crazy roller coaster would be like if it was real. How much fun would that be? So this one's a little trickier because what you have to do is put glue on one side, and what I like to do is glue that down first. Hold it down for about 5 seconds, and when that's good and stuck down, you're going to wrap around that strip of paper so that it loops around. Then you can figure out where the next little bit of glue goes, put a dot, and then stick it down where you want it. There we go. That looks amazing. Wow. There are so many different types of things you could do to this sculpture or roller coaster. I like to add all kinds of different types of lines to it. So we have added straight lines, wavy or curvy lines. We've added loopy or spiral lines, zigzag lines, and dash lines to our roller coaster. If you can come up with any more creative ways to glue strips of paper down, go for it. Thanks so much for making a paper sculpture with me today. I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned a little bit about paper sculptures and the primary colors today. Can you remember what the primary colors are? I hope so.